10 months ago, I reviewed the DJI Phantom 4. It was an amazing piece of technology, and still is. It introduced things like obstacle avoidance, intelligent flight modes like active track, had a 12.4 megapixel camera, and shot video in 4K at 30 frames per second, and in 1080 at 120 frames per second. It boasts speeds of up to 45 miles per hour with a 28-minute flight time. So what more could you ask for? Well, less than a year goes by, 8 months to be exact, and DJI releases a brand new drone, the Phantom 4 Pro. Before we jump too far into the review, I do want to explain the differences between the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro. The upgraded camera is probably one of the biggest differences between the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro. The new Phantom 4 Pro has a 1-inch CMOS sensor capable of shooting 20 megapixel stills and 4K Ultra HD video at 60 frames per second. Compared to the Phantom 4, which only had a 12.4 megapixel camera and shot 4K at 30 frames per second. The new sensor in the Phantom 4 Pro is 4 times the size of the one that was in the Phantom 4. This allows more information, better detail, crisper pictures, and better low light performance. The new Phantom 4 Pro now also has a mechanical shutter compared to the digital shutter that was on the Phantom 4. This reduces rolling shutter that you would often see when going at fast speeds on the Phantom 4. Pro can now record in UHD 4K or ultra high definition 4K at 60 frames per second, and that's at 100 megabits per second, where the Phantom 4 could only record 4K at 30 frames per second with a 60 megabit per second bitrate. The Phantom 4 Pro also has a variable aperture from f2.8 to f11, where the Phantom 4 only had a fixed 2.8 aperture. The Phantom 4 Pro now also has manual focus and automatic focus. Before, it was set to infinite on the Phantom 4, but now you can manually adjust where your focus is going to be, or you can just simply tap to focus or set it to automatic focus. Let's move on to the transmitter. There's two types of transmitters for the Phantom 4 Pro. There's the standard and the plus, and there is a $300 difference. The standard transmitter allows you to use your phone or tablet as the screen, and then you download the app onto your phone or your tablet, where the plus transmitter has a 5.5-inch display built in with the DJI Go app preloaded to it, and it actually runs off of DJI's software, so there's no native apps allowed to be downloaded to this, which I see as a downside. However, it does come with the HDMI port, a micro SD card slot, a microphone, and a loudspeaker. If you do choose to get the plus transmitter, you cannot use your phone or tablet with it, and vice versa. So both new transmitters have an extended range up to 4.3 miles. I noticed right away between the Phantom 4 and Phantom 4 Pro that I got much further with next to no breakup. This is a huge improvement over the Phantom 4. This is possible because the new transmitters switch between 2.4 GHz and 5.8 GHz. It will scan all of its channels and find the best one and switch to that one, and give you a crisp 720p at 30 frames per second live stream. The Phantom 4 introduced obstacle avoidance from the front and the bottom of the drone. The Phantom 4 Pro now has obstacle avoidance in a total 360 along with the bottom as well, so a total of 5 directions. There's new added infrared sensors on the side of the drone, and they've added a back camera sensing system. Now, just because you have 360-degree obstacle avoidance detection doesn't mean that it will avoid everything. For instance, thin tree branches or chain link fence. Things like this are very hard to see for the drone, and you might end up running into them. So always fly with caution. Not a whole lot has changed with the battery itself between the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro. The Phantom 4 Pro battery is a little bit bigger, 520 milliamp hours to be exact, and will give you roughly 3 minutes more of flight time. So 30 minutes total, where the Phantom 4 only flew for 27 minutes. Now if you do have older Phantom 4 batteries, they will work with the new Phantom 4 Pro and vice versa. The Phantom 4 Pro Standard comes with everything you need to fly except for a smart device to use for your screen. It includes the quadcopter, a transmitter, battery, charging brick, propellers, data cable, USB adapter, and instruction manuals. They also include a 16GB SD card to get you going. The new DJI Go 4.0 app is available for both Android and iOS devices. It has been optimized for the Phantom 4 Pro, but will also work with the Phantom 4. The app is where all the magic happens. It's loaded with everything from a video editor to live streaming to your flight logs. You're required to create an account, and the app will automatically log your flights. This gives you access to the dates, photos from your flight location, top speeds, and more. The app is also your main interface for your intelligent flight modes and adjusting your camera settings. Overall, the app is fairly intuitive with pop-ups, pointers, warnings, and basic instructional photos. Even though the app allows you to fly the drone and do everything directly from the app, it's not totally reliant on the app. The buttons on the transmitter allow you to do things like adjust the shutter, the ISO, the aperture, adjust the gimbal roll, focus, take pictures, take video, and also has 2 programmable buttons on the back. Flying the Phantom 4 Pro is super easy and just about anyone could do it. Its GPS along with its positioning system keeps the drone in place. So if you're flying towards something and you're worried you're going to hit it, take your hands off the sticks and the drone will come to a halt and hover. You don't even need to use the sticks to fly, you can actually fly directly from the app. Now you probably noticed that I took off from a makeshift landing pad. Now you don't need a landing pad to take this thing off, you can take it off from just about anywhere. The reason why I did this because the Phantom 4 Pro has a new and improved return to home function. As you're flying, it creates a 3D map of your flight path and the stuff it sees along its way. So when you hit that return to home button and it comes home, it will land exactly where you took off. And it's supposed to take a picture of the ground as it takes off, and that's why I laid this board on the ground, because I wanted to see how close it was. And the first time I tried it, it landed right on the target. However, the second time I tried it, it landed about a foot away from the target. The Phantom 4 Pro has 3 flight modes that are built into the transmitter. They're labeled P, S, and A. P mode stands for position mode, S mode stands for sport mode, and A mode stands for altitude mode. Let's look at P mode. In P mode, you're locked in with the GPS and the GLONASS satellite positioning. Your front and rear vision system is active and your side TOF system is active. obstacle avoidance, and vision positioning is in play. So it's locked in and using all of its sensors and its GPS to hold its position no matter which way I push it, pull it, or lift it. The safest way to fly the Phantom 4 Pro is in P mode, and if you're a beginner, I suggest you fly in P mode until you're more experienced. You must also be in P mode to use any of the intelligent flight modes. Moving on to S mode or Sport mode. Sport mode allows you to go fast, 45 miles per hour and even faster. I've hit speeds up to 54 miles per hour with the Phantom 4 Pro. Sport mode does use satellite and vision positioning, but obstacle avoidance is off, so fly with caution. Last but not least, we have A mode or altitude hold. In this mode, the GPS is off. It uses the barometer to hold its altitude, but that's it. So you'll notice it just starts to drift. It no longer holds its position, and no return to home option is available. So you must be an advanced pilot to fly in this mode. Thanks to DJI's intelligent flight modes, you don't have to be a professional drone pilot to get professional drone video. There are 10 intelligent flight modes. The first one is Draw, which is an awesome new feature for the Phantom 4 Pro. It allows you to draw the path that you would like your drone to fly. It's kind of like waypoints, but you're just drawing on the screen and then your drone will follow where you draw. You can even set it to free mode so you can rotate the camera 360. The second mode is Gesture, which allows you to give signals to the drone to take pictures or to wave your hands at it and track you. Now, my only problem with this one is that when you're going to take a picture, it waits 3 seconds and then it takes the picture. You put your hands up, and I have got it to work, but I don't think it's very practical because one, you don't know if you're signaling it and if it doesn't signal back to you. So how do you know that it's actually taking your picture unless you actually have the screen in front of you? But I do like the road that the gesture mode is on. Next up is Active Track. Active Track is awesome. It will allow you to just draw a square around an object, a person, a car, a bike, and then the drone will adapt to whatever it is and it will follow that. There's different options for Active Track like Trace, Profile, and Spotlight. Next we have Tap Fly, which isn't necessarily new to the Phantom 4 Pro, but it does have some added features like Tap Fly backwards and Tap Fly free, which allows you to tap in the direction you want to fly and then go ahead and rotate the camera around in 360 as it's going in the way that you directed it to go. It acts as a pilot assistant basically. Next up, Tripod mode, which is pretty sweet. It kind of resembles the effect you would get from a camera crane. It slows all the movements down on the joystick and the speed down to 5.6 miles per hour to allow you to get super smooth movement. Next we have terrain follow, which allows you to set the drone to a certain height and then it will follow the terrain. And as it flies, it will go up. But however, when you have slopes and downwards, it will not go downwards. Now you don't want to do this on the snow or on water. You want to do it on something like a field, something that has distinctive characteristics where the drone can see how high it is off the ground. Up next is point of interest. Point of interest allows you to say, fly above a house, a building, a playground, and then circle it and the camera will focus on the point of interest. This is easy to use. All you do is fly above the point of interest you'd like to set that as the point of interest, set the diameter, and hit go. And in mid-flight you can speed it up, slow it down, and also switch directions and tilt the camera. Next is follow me mode. Nothing new there, but it allows the drone to follow the transmitter. So for instance, if you got into a car with the transmitter and you had it in this mode, it would follow the transmitter initially following the car. Moving on to waypoints. Waypoints allows you to set certain points and then it will fly the route by itself. However, you do need to fly to each point and set it physically before it can fly its mission. Next we have home lock, which is kind of like a headless mode. It's a really good mode for people who have no experience to fly in, because no matter what, the direction of the quad does not matter. Your controls will always be forward, back. When you pull the quad, it will always come back to you. So it's a good mode for beginners. Last but not least, we have course lock, which allows you to stay on a single path but freely pan the camera in any direction. So with these intelligent flight modes, it gives you endless possibilities and it will definitely give you professional results. So there you go, the Phantom 4 Pro. It is an awesome piece of technology. It's super easy to fly and it captures stunning photos and videos. If you have the Phantom 4 and you're thinking if you want to upgrade, I'd say if you're flying professionally and using the Phantom 4, the Phantom 4 Pro would definitely be worth the upgrade. If you're flying for fun and a personal use, if you do have the extra money, I'd go for the Phantom 4 Pro, but if not, the Phantom 4 is still an excellent quadcopter. Another question I get asked a lot is where is the best place to buy the Phantom 4 Pro? Well, in my opinion, DJI does not have the best customer service or customer support, and I always like to deal with Amazon Prime. I'll put links to the description, but with Amazon Prime, if there's any issues, if you get a bad Apple, a bad drone, they will return it without asking any questions, and that's why I like ordering from Amazon so much. Also, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think of the Phantom 4 Pro. And as always, thanks for watching.